If you are in the market for a Toyota, you're about to have all the leverage. Right now, dealerships are desperate to move certain models, and that means huge savings for smart buyers. But not every deal is a good one. Some models are sitting for a reason. Today, we are breaking down the 14 Toyotas that are piling up fast, and what you need to know before you grab one. Toyota BZ4X. At first, the Toyota BZ4X promised to be a turning point, a bold, fully electric vehicle from one of the world's most trusted automakers. Toyota, famous for its bulletproof hybrids and legendary reliability, entered the electric vehicle market with massive expectations riding on its shoulders. The BZ4X was supposed to blend Toyota's renowned engineering with the demands of a new generation of drivers seeking sustainability and innovation. Instead, what buyers got was an exercise in disappointment. The biggest blow to the BZ4X is its range, or rather its lack thereof. While competitors like Tesla, Ford, and Hyundai are comfortably delivering electric vehicles that surpass 300 miles per charge, the BZ4X struggles to come close. Real-world performance often falls significantly short of its already modest estimates, leading to widespread dissatisfaction among early adopters. Worse yet, Toyota's lack of a robust charging network leaves BZ4X owners scrambling for unreliable third-party options, a far cry from the seamless experience offered by Tesla's supercharger system. Resale value, once a Toyota trademark, has also become a nightmare for BZ4X owners. Early buyers are already seeing steep depreciation, with some vehicles losing thousands of dollars in value within the first year alone. As a result, Toyota dealerships are panicking, rolling out aggressive lease offers, deep discounts, and incentive bundles just to move inventory. Deals that would have been unheard of for Toyota a few years ago are now commonplace with the BZ4X. But while electric troubles were expected, nobody thought a legendary off-roader would join this list. Toyota Land Cruiser. This car has long been a symbol of indestructibility, a rugged machine trusted to traverse deserts, jungles, and mountains with equal ease. For decades, it earned its reputation as one of the toughest, most reliable off-road vehicles ever built. That reputation, however, took a brutal hit with the latest reboot. In a move that left longtime fans stunned, Toyota replaced the Land Cruiser's legendary 8-cylinder engine with a turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid. The new powertrain promises better fuel efficiency, but for the loyal Land Cruiser base, it represents a betrayal of everything the name once stood for. Off-road enthusiasts value simplicity, durability, and raw mechanical strength, not complex hybrid systems prone to potential failures in extreme conditions. Adding insult to injury, the starting price of the new Land Cruiser exceeds $60,000, pushing it into the realm of luxury vehicles without offering the luxury experience expected at that price point. Meanwhile, older Land Cruisers equipped with 8-cylinder engines are fetching staggering amounts on the used market, often selling for more than brand new models. Buyers simply trust the old formula more than they do Toyota's new hybrid gamble. The nostalgic pull of the previous generations, combined with skepticism about the new model's long-term reliability, has left dealerships sitting on piles of unsold inventory. Discounts, low-interest financing, and promotional packages have all been rolled out, but moving these new Land Cruisers is proving harder than anyone expected. And speaking of pricing disasters, the next model aimed for luxury and fell flat on its face: Toyota Sequoia. For families who needed space, power, and legendary durability at a fair price, few vehicles delivered like the Sequoia. The new Sequoia, however, has broken that trust. With a base price that flirts dangerously close to $80,000, Toyota positioned the Sequoia to compete against true luxury titans like the Cadillac Escalade and Lincoln Navigator, and it simply is not up to the challenge. One of the most controversial changes was the decision to make the Sequoia hybrid only. In theory, the hybrid setup should have been a win, promising better fuel economy without sacrificing performance. In reality, buyers miss the simple power and rugged dependability of the old 8-cylinder models. Many are skeptical that the hybrid system can endure the demanding tasks that large sport utility vehicles are built for, like towing heavy loads or enduring long-distance travel under harsh conditions. To make matters worse, the ride quality has been widely criticized. Where competitors offer fully independent rear suspension systems and buttery smooth rides, the Sequoia sticks to a stiffer, truck-like setup. That makes every bump and pothole feel magnified, an unforgivable flaw for a vehicle priced so close close to six figures, with rivals offering more refinement, comfort, and prestige for similar or even lower prices. Toyota dealerships have found themselves offering major discounts and promotional leases in a desperate attempt to move inventory. But it is not just big sport utility vehicles getting the cold shoulder. Even Toyota's midsize king is stumbling. Liking the breakdown so far? Smash that like button and subscribe, and stick around because the models coming up might shock you even more. Toyota Tacoma. Rugged reliability, smart pricing, and unbeatable resale value built a legend in the midsize truck world. A reputation for no-nonsense durability turned it into a household name across the United States, earning loyalty that few vehicles could match. However, in recent years, something has changed. The Tacoma, once unbeatable in its class, is now struggling to maintain its crown, and it all comes down to price, outdated technology, and strategic missteps. Today's Toyota Tacoma is a victim of its own success. Instead of refining and evolving, Toyota allowed the Tacoma to stagnate. Buyers are facing outdated technology with infotainment systems, driver assistance features, and cabin ergonomics that feel years behind the competition. Meanwhile, the pricing has climbed significantly. Once considered a budget-friendly alternative to full-size trucks, the Tacoma now inches dangerously close to the cost of larger, more capable trucks. High-end trims surpass the $50,000 mark, a move that has alienated traditional buyers. Compounding the issue is Toyota's inventory strategy. Dealerships have shifted focus toward high-end, heavily optioned Tacomas, leaving very few affordable base models on the lots. Shoppers seeking a simple, rugged, no-frills work truck, the very core of the Tacoma's historic appeal, are left disappointed or priced out. As a result, more and more buyers are defecting to competitors like the Ford Ranger and the Nissan Frontier, which offer better technology, updated interiors, and more attractive pricing. And if you thought the Tacoma's fall was surprising, wait until you see how their full-size truck is doing. Toyota Tundra. Simple 8-cylinder power, unmatched reliability, and a rugged, no-frills design once made this full-size pickup a favorite among truck buyers. It earned a loyal following by offering a dependable alternative to the more complicated choices from American brands, thriving quietly without chasing flashy trends. But the latest version has left longtime fans disappointed, and not for the reasons Toyota had hoped. Toyota made a bold move with the latest Tundra redesign by eliminating the beloved naturally aspirated 8-cylinder engine and replacing it with a turbocharged 6-cylinder setup. On paper, this change promised better fuel efficiency and more torque. In reality, however, the decision backfired. Truck buyers, especially those using their vehicles for towing, hauling, and long-term ownership, deeply value proven engine reliability over marginal efficiency gains. The turbocharged 6-cylinder engine introduced doubts about long-term durability, and those doubts have translated into hesitation at the dealership level. Even worse, the Tundra's price ballooned. Well-equipped models now easily exceed $70,000. Pushing the truck into luxury territory without offering the refinement or prestige typically expected at that price point. Dealerships have responded with heavy discounting, offering cash incentives and financing deals that were once unheard of for Toyota trucks. The Tundra, once a no-haggle, high-demand model, is now sitting on lots longer, forcing dealers into desperate sales tactics. For a brand that built its reputation on strength and resale value, the Tundra's current struggle represents a major fall from grace. But Toyota's missteps are not limited to trucks. Even their luxury sedans are collecting dust. Toyota Crown. When Toyota announced that the Avalon would be discontinued and replaced by the Toyota Crown, expectations were cautiously optimistic. After all, Toyota rarely misses. However, what buyers received was not the logical evolution they had hoped for. It was a radical, confusing shift that left many scratching their heads. The Toyota Crown attempts to bridge the gap between sedans and crossovers, sporting a high-riding chassis, coupe-like roofline, and all-wheel drive powertrains, all wrapped in a hybrid-only format. While innovative in theory, the Crown's identity crisis alienates both traditional sedan lovers and sport utility vehicle enthusiasts. Those seeking a classic, sleek sedan find the Crown too bulky and tall, while sport utility vehicle shoppers view it as impractical compared to more traditional crossovers that offer better cargo space and versatility. Compounding the confusion is the Crown's steep pricing, starting around $40,000 and reaching well into the mid-50s for top trims. The Crown competes directly with entry-level luxury sedans from Lexus, Audi, and BMW. Yet it lacks the brand prestige, interior refinement, and feature sets those buyers expect at that price point. Sales have been slow, and dealers are struggling to generate excitement. Without a loyal audience to carry it forward, the Crown is quickly becoming a case study in misreading the market. It is a bold swing by Toyota, but one that has failed to connect with either traditionalists or trend seekers. And now, one of Toyota's most hyped sports cars is struggling with a serious identity crisis: Toyota GR Supra. Anticipation was electric when news broke that Toyota would be reviving one of its most celebrated nameplates. Enthusiasts everywhere hoped for a new model that would channel the spirit of the legendary fourth-generation Supra, a machine revered for its durability, exhilarating performance, and iconic design. At first glance, the Toyota GR Supra seemed to deliver sharp looks, serious performance credentials, and a focus on rear-wheel drive driving dynamic. However, once the details emerged, many fans felt betrayed. The biggest controversy surrounding the GR Supra is its partnership with a German luxury automaker. Beneath the Toyota badge lies a platform, engine, and transmission sourced almost entirely from that manufacturer's lineup. While the resulting vehicle is undeniably quick and capable, it lacks the pure Toyota DNA that enthusiasts were desperate for. The GR Supra feels more like a rebadged German coupe than a true Japanese performance icon. Adding to the frustration is the GR Supra's troubling depreciation. Unlike classic Toyotas that often held their value impressively, the GR Supra has experienced faster than expected resale declines. Early adopters who paid full price are now watching their vehicles lose value at a shocking pace, turning what was supposed to be a dream car into a financial headache. Dealerships across the country are responding with heavy discounts, special financing deals, and aggressive marketing campaigns to move unsold inventory. Despite its capabilities, the GR Supra's confusion about what it wants to be, a Toyota or a German sports car, has made it a tough sell. But it is not just the sporty crowd that is walking away. Family sport utility vehicles are piling up too. Toyota Venza. This car offers upscale styling, a comfortable interior, and a smooth hybrid-only powertrain aimed at efficiency-minded buyers. Slotted above the Toyota RAV4 and below the Toyota Highlander, the Venza attempts to carve out a niche for buyers who want a more premium midsize sport utility vehicle without stepping into luxury territory. However, when potential buyers dig a little deeper, it becomes clear why the Venza is struggling to find an audience. The Venza's pricing is one of its biggest obstacles. Starting well above $35,000 and climbing quickly with options, it places itself dangerously close to the price points of more spacious, better-equipped competitors. For a mid-size sport utility vehicle that offers no third-row seating, modest cargo space, and an unremarkable hybrid system, the Venza struggles to justify its premium cost. Another critical issue is the Venza's awkward positioning within Toyota's own lineup. For slightly less money, buyers can opt for a fully loaded RAV4 hybrid, which offers more cargo capacity and nearly identical fuel economy. Or, for slightly more money, they can step into a Toyota Highlander hybrid, gaining a third row and a significantly larger interior. As a result, the Venza occupies a no man's land, where it neither leads on price, features, nor practicality. Even though Toyota gave the Venza a modern design and a smooth ride, it has not been enough to overcome its strategic missteps. Dealerships are now offering incentives and lease specials to entice buyers, but moving Venzas off lots remains a persistent challenge. Meanwhile, a fan-favorite sedan nameplate quietly fades into obscurity. Toyota Camry TRD. Known for comfort, value, and bulletproof reliability, this mid-size sedan dominated American roads for decades. So when Toyota introduced a Camry tuned by its racing development division, expectations skyrocketed. Drivers hoped for real performance wrapped in familiar dependability, but the reality proved more complicated. On paper, the Camry TRD seemed promising, boasting a beefed-up suspension, a meaner stance, and an aggressive exhaust note. Yet, once it hit the streets, reality set in. The Camry TRD despite its sporty looks and louder demeanor, remains mechanically very similar to the standard V6 Camry. While the 301 horsepower V6 engine delivers strong acceleration, the actual driving experience is only marginally different from a regular Camry XSE or XLE equipped with the same engine. For buyers expecting a true performance sedan, sharper steering, more refined handling, track day capability, the TRD badge overpromises and underdelivers. Making matters worse, the Camry TRD's pricing places it awkwardly against both other Camrys and actual sports sedans. For a little more money, buyers can step into an entry-level luxury sedan that offers a far more engaging driving experience. For slightly less, they can opt for the Camry XSE, gaining almost the same performance without the rougher ride and stripped-down interior. Dealerships initially counted on the Camry's loyal customer base to embrace the TRD experiment, but sales numbers tell a different story. Incentives, cashback deals, and discounts are now common as dealers struggle to move Camry TRDs off their lots. And while TRD flops, another off-road experiment has buyers scratching their heads: Toyota RAV4 Prime. On paper, this should have been the ultimate sport utility vehicle. Blending thrilling acceleration, impressive fuel economy, and everyday practicality, it promised everything buyers wanted, and more. Sprinting from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 6 seconds, and offering over 40 miles of electric-only range, it looked like a guaranteed success. In theory, it checked every box. However, the reality at dealerships paints a different picture. From its launch, the RAV4 Prime faced massive dealer markups. Limited production volumes led to long waiting lists, and customers found themselves paying premiums well above the manufacturer's suggested retail price. These inflated costs destroyed the RAV4 Prime's value proposition. What should have been a practical, affordable plug-in hybrid suddenly cost nearly as much as a luxury sport utility vehicle. Even as production slowly increased, Toyota struggled to bring prices back to reality. Many buyers simply walked away, frustrated by the enormous premiums. Now, desperate to move lingering inventory, dealers are offering incentives, discounts, and special financing packages on the RAV4 Prime. Models that were once unattainable are now sitting unsold. The situation is a glaring example of a vehicle's performance being overshadowed by poor pricing strategies. Potential buyers who once celebrated the RAV4 Prime's promise now hesitate, questioning whether any version of this sport utility vehicle is truly worth the money. What began as a triumph of engineering has become a case study in how not to price an in-demand product. But the next model might be the biggest example of Toyota overestimating their brand loyalty. Toyota Mirai. Powered by hydrogen fuel cells, the Mirai promised clean, efficient driving without the long charge times associated with battery electric vehicles. In theory, hydrogen vehicles offer all the benefits of electric powertrains with the convenience of traditional refueling. The Mirai was Toyota's bold bet that the next automotive revolution would be hydrogen, not batteries. Unfortunately, the real world had other plans. The Mirai launched with almost no refueling infrastructure outside of California. Even within California, hydrogen stations were scarce, often plagued by long wait times, maintenance issues, and outages. Outside of that limited market, the Mirai became virtually impossible to own. Buyers had nowhere to refuel, making the vehicle impractical for all but a tiny fraction of the American population. Adding insult to injury, the Mirai has suffered catastrophic depreciation. Vehicles that once sold for well over $60,000 are now available on the used market for less than $20,000. Such steep value drops have terrified new buyers, who understandably fear investing in a vehicle with almost no resale value. Recognizing the problem, Toyota dealerships have tried offering generous incentives, cashback programs, and even free hydrogen fuel for several years. Still, interest remains extremely limited. Toyota's futuristic gamble turned into a commercial flop almost overnight, not because of the vehicle itself, but because the world simply was not ready for hydrogen. From future tech to old-school fails, even Toyota's most iconic van is not safe. Toyota Sienna. Known for its bulletproof reliability, spacious interior, and strong resale value, the Sienna carved out a reputation as one of the most trusted minivans on the market. Families relied on the Sienna for cross-country road trips, school carpools, and everything in between. However, the latest generation has stumbled badly. Toyota made the bold decision to offer the Sienna exclusively as a hybrid. While hybrid technology offers fuel savings, it also brought several trade-offs that buyers were not expecting. Towing capacity dropped noticeably compared to previous 8-cylinder powered versions, limiting the van's practicality for families who wanted to tow trailers, boats, or campers. Moreover, the hybrid system, while efficient, feels sluggish when the Sienna is fully loaded, diminishing the driving experience that once set it apart. Pricing has also become a major issue. Fully loaded Sienna models now approach $60,000, placing them uncomfortably close to full-size sport utility vehicles that offer more power, greater versatility, and better off-road capabilities. This has pushed many buyers to explore alternatives like the Chrysler Pacifica or Kia Carnival, both of which offer a better balance of price, performance, and features. Despite offering strong fuel efficiency, the new Toyota Sienna simply does not deliver the kind of all-around utility buyers expect at its elevated price point. Toyota dealerships, recognizing the drop in demand, have started offering larger discounts and more aggressive leasing terms to try and salvage interest. And shockingly, even Toyota's affordable compact cars are not immune. Toyota Corolla Cross. When Toyota introduced the Corolla Cross, it seemed like a guaranteed success. After all, the Corolla nameplate carries a legacy of reliability, affordability, and practicality. The Corolla Cross was meant to bring that reputation into the booming sport utility vehicle market by offering a compact, budget-friendly crossover that would appeal to urban drivers and small families. On paper, it had everything it needed to win: a familiar name, decent fuel economy, and a price tag lower than most competitors. Yet in reality, the Corolla Cross has not lived up to expectations. The first major issue with the Corolla Cross is its lack of power. Equipped with a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine, the vehicle struggles with acceleration and highway passing maneuvers. Buyers expecting a peppy, city-friendly ride quickly find themselves frustrated by its sluggish performance. In a market where rivals like the Honda HR-V and the Kia Seltos offer more dynamic driving experiences without sacrificing fuel economy, the Corolla Cross feels outdated right out of the gate. Price is another sticking point. Although the Corolla Cross is supposed to be a budget-conscious choice, rising new car prices mean that buyers are spending close to $30,000 for a fully equipped model. Dealerships are feeling the pinch. With unsold units piling up on lots, aggressive discounts and incentive offers have become commonplace. Buyers can now negotiate thousands of dollars off sticker prices, a rare situation for any model carrying the Corolla badge. Yet even with price cuts, consumers are often opting for the better rounded competition. But now for the final and most unexpected Toyota model struggling to find love: Toyota GR86. Lightweight, rear-wheel drive, and engineered for maximum driver engagement, the GR86 promised to deliver pure driving fun without the eye-watering price tags attached to European performance machines. Enthusiasts eagerly awaited its arrival, hoping Toyota had perfected the formula it pioneered with the previous 86 and the earlier Scion FR-S. And while the GR86 absolutely nails the fun-to-drive metric, serious issues have prevented it from becoming the success Toyota envisioned. The first problem is reliability. Multiple reports have surfaced about engine failures, particularly concerning connecting rod-bearing issues under high-stress driving conditions. For a car marketed toward performance enthusiasts, any perception of mechanical fragility is disastrous. Buyers do not just want a fun car, they want one they can trust to endure spirited driving without costly repairs looming on the horizon. The fear of catastrophic engine failure has scared off a portion of the GR86's core target audience. Secondly, the GR86 faces stiff competition. Although it offers genuine handling magic, its price has crept dangerously close to more powerful rivals. In the $35,000 to $40,000 range, buyers can cross-shop vehicles like the Ford Mustang EcoBoost, or even base trims of the Dodge Challenger, both of which offer significantly higher horsepower and straight-line performance. For just a few $1,000s more, even a well-equipped Subaru WRX becomes an alternative, providing turbocharged power and all-wheel drive traction. Adding to the GR86's woes is steep depreciation. Unlike classic Toyota models known for bulletproof resale value, early GR86 owners are experiencing sharp declines in their vehicle's worth. Combined with reliability concerns and tough competition, this rapid depreciation makes it a risky financial choice for many prospective buyers. Out of all these Toyotas, Which one would you grab? And which one would you leave sitting on the lot? Share your pick in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.